What's good everyone, yadiiiigg, 4 eyes, 2 G's here, and following up from my last video I did on the 2016 XXL list, I'm gonna finish it off and touch on the rest of the artists. If you guys missed that one, I'm basically going through artist by artist and breaking down where they've gone since that list. Pretty simple, link to the first one in the description if you haven't seen it. Let's get into it. Now firstly, let's kick it off with Lil Yachty. And Yachty posts the XXL list is a roller coaster to say the least. Firstly comes the insane wave in mainstream status he reached with pop songs like Broccoli, I Spy, as well as the placements with Target and Sprite, which put him in a lane of his own. This built the image of Yachty as a recognizable red-haired, young, family-friendly kid to this huge audience. However, when it was time to show and prove with his debut album and solidify himself to this audience as an actual artist, Teenage Emotions definitely wasn't it and flopped commercially, critically, and set him back career-wise. I've spoken about this at length on my channel, but since then, Yachty has gone through quite the transition image and sound-wise, and is no longer making that bright bubblegumish trap, and now he is more in common than the Migos sound-wise than that person. People may have negative opinions about his newer music, but in terms of relevance, he is far from falling off, and he was able to bounce back with Lil Boat True and Nothing to Prove, scoring himself a couple of successful songs thanks to Juice WRLD and Cardi. So whilst I don't think he'll ever reach that pop status that he did with songs like Broccoli and I Spy again, I think Yachty, when you compare him to other artists who have come and gone since 2016, is in a great position, and he has brought himself back quite nicely since Teenage Emotions. And after Yachty, we get onto 21 Savage, and 21 has been on a huge run since 2016. Savage Mode is up there and has to be one of the best projects from the SoundCloud generation. Without Warning was really nice as well, adding a couple pretty good solo albums as well, and his discography is pretty much on par with anyone else who's come out the same time as him, if not better. Add to this a few nice hits that have kind of bolstered his status and figure in the mainstream lane, not to mention the growth in his music and personality that we've seen over the last couple of years, and 21 has undoubtedly glowed the fuck up in pretty much every regard. I've said this before, 21 has staying power, and with an album like I Am Greater Than I Was, I think the diversity in its sounds and content prove that, and I'm curious to see what's next from him. And moving on, we get to Denzel Curry, and seeing Denzel take off like he has in the last couple of years is crazy. I got put onto Denzel pretty early on back in 2013, and I really gravitated towards his music, so to see him progress since then has been a roller coaster. Specifically, since the XXL placement was the explosion of the ultimate meme, which was surprising to say the least, because all of a sudden all my normie high school friends who had literally never heard another Denzel song in their life were reciting ultimate word for word. However, I'm glad that this wasn't just a flash in the pan for Denzel, and he was able to capitalize and establish himself from that platform. Sometime later with Taboo, which would be the project that took him to the next level, with songs like Cloud Cobain really making him an international star. And then even more recently on Zoo, songs like Ricky and Speedboat have done pretty good. Although Denzel doesn't operate within the mainstream lane, the amount of hype and attention he's been able to create for himself since the XXL spot honestly exceeded my expectations. And when you think about his discography, albums like Nostalgic 64 and Imperial go toe to toe with anyone else's best on the list in my opinion. As I said, being on Denzel since 2013 and seeing him glow up like he has, especially coming from that underground lane, has been amazing to witness, and I'm glad he's getting the recognition he deserves. And before we go on guys, a quick shout out from my Instagram. Big shout out goes to All Red Suit Like Deadpool for showing me love. Iconic lyric right there from one of my favorite leaks. If you guys haven't yet, do make sure to follow me on Instagram at yadiiiigg, and appreciate all the love you guys show me over there. Also a reminder about my Playboy Cardi and Travis merch tees. They're fire, link in the description to cop if you're interested. The Travis ones are nearly sold out and the Cardi ones are up for pre-order now. Also make sure that like, subscribe, comment, turn on those notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. But let's keep going with this XXL list. And moving on, we get to Lil Dicky, and seeing Lil Dicky explode in the way that it did and get that really white anti-trap, oh my god, Lil Dicky raps better than mumble rappers audiences that he didn't really surprise me in the slightest. Talking objectively and not imposing my opinion on his music, Dicky really blew the fuck up, and since that XXL spot, it's impressive to see how far he has come just with that one album alone. Really, it was that Save That Money single that just signal boosted his whole movement and took it to the next level, and from there, people got a glimpse of that funny rap type style, and it led to people falling in love with the rest of what he had going on. Freaky Friday with Chris Brown was a well-constructed idea for a song that worked extremely well, further expanding his presence and figure within the mainstream world, and Earth, honestly, although it was such a fucking corny song, like almost unbearably corny, I can't really hate on the message because it was a good positive undertone to it, and again it did help to expand his profile more. I can't help but give props to Dicky, still being able to maintain relevance and continue growing without a new project since 2015 is impressive, and I think with plans of a TV show with Kevin Hart in the works, his celebrity is only going to keep growing. And lastly, to touch on is Anderson .Paak, and with Paak it's almost hard to really speak on because he operates in such a different lane and feeds such a different audience to the rest of the list. I think back to Malibu in 2016, he definitely had this moment where he exploded onto the scene with this bubbly personality and this easy vibey music, and since then he has definitely been able to take that and run with it. And we've seen countless R&B-ish artists on the XXL lists come and go after their first big initial year, like August Alsina, Kid Ink, and Coco Bangs, and although Paak is more talented and makes very different music from them, still Paak being able to maintain his run and keep his movement growing over the years says a lot about his talent as an artist, and you need to give him props for that. As I said, Paak operates in such a different lane to the rest of the list that it's hard to compare with them. Originally, people were saying that he was going to blow the fuck up and take over the pop world and all that, and although he hasn't quite filled that prospect yet, I don't think he's been a letdown, and I think it's just a matter of time before he transcends this little bubble he finds himself in right now and fully explodes. But that's all from me today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to let me know what you thought about the list in the comments below. Also, do make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you guys don't miss a video of mine. And there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Do make sure to check them out if you haven't.